Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with Olympic hopeful Kieran MacDonald. Kieran, how you doing, sir?
All good, all good. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. They don't call you Mini Canelo here in the gym, do you? Not just saying the shocker ginger hair, but the facial features kind of recognise it too. I wonder if you're being called that name.
I wouldn't mind fighting like him. I'll tell you that one for free.
Yeah, I see the resemblance here. All getting ready, all tuning up for a date with destiny, I guess it is, heading into March. How you feel heading towards Italy?
I'm in great confidence. Just missed out on my last qualifying bout in the last qualifier. Really hit home. It hurt quite a bit, and it just grew resilience in us to build on and push towards this qualification, this tournament.
How do you deal with those moments? Like, who is it you look to, or who do you kind of draw that strength from? Or do you have that inner strength yourself when you're dealing with that? Not qualifying at that juncture.
To be honest, it's one of them look in the mirror moments. You've got to address yourself and see where it went wrong, and sometimes it's just either look at the draw or a little switch off, but them things can cost you. One switch off can cost you about when you've only got 3 rounds, so it's almost look at yourself and go back to the drawing board and start building on what went wrong in the gym and then push on from there.
Are you one of those that are your most harshest critic? Is that you and yourself and your nature?
Absolutely. Every time I have a bad spar, I'm always sort of moaning and complaining about it, and sometimes I'm too harsh on myself, to be honest. But I believe I'm a perfectionist, and that's where you get your perfection from, is keep practicing your craft and moving on, getting better and better each and every spar.
Sort of like the Northeast way, isn't it?
That is. That's why we've got great talent from the Northeast, because everyone's got the similar mindset.
Must be a bit of a running joke that you and Salah Ibrahim keep matching up against each other. Might match up again.
Yeah, maybe. We've boxed each other 4 times in the last 6 months. I'm ahead in the Trilogy Cup, and it's one of them. You can't write it when 2 boxers have boxed each other so many times in the last 6 months, considering the amount of boxers in the world. But you got to deal with the draw, and it is what it is. And he is a great talented fighter, and you've got to be on your game to beat him.
Did he beat you the last time out?
No, the time before that he beat us in last year, and I beat him, got him back. So I'm 3-1 in the Trilogy. Probably took my foot off the gas a bit towards the back end of last year, but we'll put it right January in the JB tournament.
When you fight opponents like that for multiple times, do you feel like you have that number? The confidence must grow when you're fighting an opponent that's familiar to yourself.
Yeah. Obviously, your confidence grows, but sometimes you've got to be really careful, because like what happened to me at the end of the year when he beat me, I sort of overlooked it a little bit and thought, I've beat him twice on the 2 previous occasions before, and sort of had a little switch off. But in a talented fight like that can always get you back. So if you switch off for a moment, it's going to cost you daily, and that's what it did. So it's good to get him back in the last tournament and go in full of confidence and get it back to what it should be.
Would you call it a rivalry?
Nah, not really. It's just one of them. I feel like every fight's a rivalry. Every time you get in the ring, you want to beat whoever it is. It just so happens that we've got a little trilogy going on, but long may it continue. But I believe I'm out for the same result every time.
When it comes to Italy, do you particularly look for, obviously you don't know who you're fighting, but are you looking at the opponents, who it could be, and matching yourself up with them and maybe wanting someone else over someone else, or are you happy to be in with anyone?
To be honest, we sort of know who's left in and what accolades and achievements are of some of the boxers. But to be honest, you've got to back yourself no matter who you're in with. You've got to box your fight no matter who it is. I believe I'm up there with some of the best fighters in the world, so it's about going and proving it on the biggest stage. And when you get the Olympic Games, there's no easy draw. You've got to get in and fight whoever's in front of you, and that's going to be the same here.
What it mean for you to qualify for the Olympics and represent GB in the Olympics must be obviously realising a dream of your own, but just sum up in your own words, what will that feeling be like for yourself?
That's it. It'll be a dream come true, ever since I started boxing, following Tony Jeffries when he qualified for the Olympics from my home city, and that was the reason I got into boxing. And now I'm 8 years onto the programme, one of the most experienced fighters of the years here, and it's just all about fulfilling my dream, really, and I know I'm good enough to do it, so it's just getting it right and performing when it matters.
Talking of those embryonic stages of your amateur career, what about the influences? Who are you watching that got you really kind of loving boxing?
To be honest, when I first started, it was through Tony Jeffries qualifying for the Olympics, that just because he was from my home city, but then obviously went on to watch all the pros like your Luke Campbell in the Olympics, and then looking at your Lomachenkos and things. That's in Manny Pacquiao's, them are sort of the stars that I look at and enjoy.
Have you managed to carve or influence a little bit of your own style into the GB style as well? I know they get you like boxing a certain way, but a bit of flair of yourself in there too?
Yeah. Obviously, I always had a bit of my own flair, you know, because everybody can box a certain way, but not everyone's got the little bit flair and things, and they like it. You know, the coaches tell us to adapt it and put it into it as long as it makes sense and there's not a silly time in the bout to do it. Enjoy it and do it, because boxing's about enjoyment at the end of the day, and if you're enjoying and you're happy, you're going to perform at your best.
Get a confident demeanour from yourself heading into March, but if it was me in your shoes, I'd be really nervous. Like, I just wonder, like, how you switch off from all that. What do you do when the boxing gloves are down, when you're away from all the training? What do you do to switch off?
I just like a bit downtime at home, you know. I like going for food and restaurants and things. I mean, I can't really do that at the minute, making weight, but to be honest, there is nerves there, there is pressure there, but you've got to learn to ride with it, because at high level sport, there is pressure and there is times where you're thinking, oh, I'm nervous or I'm up against it, but you've just got to sort of get on with it. It is what it is at the end of the day. And the highest pressure situations give the biggest rewards.
Have you planned a qualification celebration meal?
Oh, I planned it over and over again in my head. Don't worry about that.
What is the meal? Go on.
It's got to be a Chinese, you know. Can't knock a Chinese, salt and pepper chicken, salt and pepper chips. You've got to go full works, haven't you?
Going back to the boxing, has the sparring changed at all? Getting in the sparring partners for the qualification in at that weight as well sometimes might be a little bit difficult, but who do you draw in to get the right sparring in?
Yeah, so I've had a lot of rounds with like Galal Yafai, obviously Olympic champion and now a pro, get some great rounds off Galal Yafai. Been sparring with Hamza Mahmood, who's a little bit, Scott Richards, who I've boxed, who's my weight and just got on the squad. And then we've been out in Italy last week, sparring boxers who's qualified, boxers who's got world medals, Olympic medals, and them are the type of people you want to be rubbing shoulders with, because that's going to get your best of your ability out.
Been to Italy before?
Yeah, numerous, probably about 12 times now, but this is probably one of the times it's been a big multi-nation camp where I think there was like 25 or 30 countries there, so you weren't short of sparring partners or people wanting to be in the ring with you, so that just building your resilience again, and got 4 days off the spin of sparring is tough, but that's what it's going to take to qualify, so that's what you need.
Do you like the bit of the familiar, or do you like jumping into the complete unknown?
It's a bit of both. I like going into the unknown as well, because then people don't know myself and what I'm good at. But at the end of the day, it's all about tactics, and if you've even been in with someone, you can still change up what you do and have a little practice and try, because sparring's all practice really. Fighting's the real thing. It's where you master your craft in the ring is in your sparring, so sort of going in there, but if you're going in on a blank sheet, then you've got to work them out as well, so it's a bit of a catch-22.
The phrase turning pro might be something you say hush around here, but is that in your mind after this Olympic cycle you look to the pro ranks?
Oh, absolutely. I'm relishing the chance to turn professional with a big promoter, you know, and be under the lights where I believe I belong. I've sort of nurtured my craft for eight years on this programme, and hopefully I get all the marbles at the Olympic Games, and then move on to a journey for myself and sort of start from scratch again and learn the new sport and learn a new trade, because it's completely different. But I'm really excited for that journey.
Let's talk about some of the previous Olympic fighters. First of all, AJ versus Ngannou. His fight with Ngannou's rearing up pretty soon. Do you feel that AJ comes through that test against Ngannou?
Yeah, I believe he comes through quite comfortable, to be honest. He's got a massive pedigree, AJ. He's boxed some of the best world champions out there. And to be honest, I know Ngannou sort of caught the world by storm and shocked a few people against Fury, but I believe that AJ will not have overlooked him. He always trains hard. He's ultimate professional, and I believe that he comes through quite comfortable.
Frazer Clarke gets a crack at the British title against Fabio Wardley. Two completely different rises to that point. Frazer might be favoured by some in this scene, but Fabio Wardley, for a lot of people, is the favourite in that fight. Do you feel that Frazer's pedigree will see him through to the victory?
To be honest, it's a great fight. Two great fighters. I love watching them both. They're both entertaining fighters, but for me, if I was leaning one way, I would always go the pedigree. I feel like Frazer's pedigree, it's got to come through. Don't get us wrong, if Frazer doesn't train as hard as what he should, it could go wrong, but I believe that Frazer's got too much on the line, and I feel like he will train really hard and get the job done.
Ben Whittaker is someone who's getting all the spotlights and the bullets, brings a smile to your face. Ben is a funny character. I enjoy listening to him. I heard his podcast on Boxing News as well too. You must want, like, I imagine, a slice that to him, and also proud of the efforts and the success he's getting at the early stage of his career too.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, Ben Whittaker's probably one of my closest friends in boxing, you know. We've grew up from a young age together, all the way through the programme. We sort of shared a lot of memories together, and he probably is one of my best friends in boxing, you know. So it's just good to see him getting what he deserves and getting the limelight he deserves, because he's always been a bit of a showcase, you know. That's always been his demeanour, and he's just doing it now, and people are getting to see that. But that's been Ben since he's been a young boy. You know, he's boxed the same way, so it's just getting the eyes in the spotlight, and long may that continue.
You and him have ever muck around in the ring? I know you're obviously different weights, but do you ever try on?
I know he knows I'm too good for him.
Kieran,
But no, I wish him all the best, and I believe he will be a world champion one day.
Kieran, pleasure's all mine speaking to you at the English Institute of Sport. Have I said that right? Have I got it wrong?
No, that's right.
Either way, it's a bit of a mouthful. Kieran, much appreciated. Thanks for being Seconds Out. So all the best in qualification in Italy.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Good man.
Thank you.